I don't think it's enough. I think Kawhi is a better player. I think he's going to have a longer career. I mean, I just think even though they have a lot of wing players, I just think I would have to get more for Kyrie going to San Antonio. I'd have to
You'd
put
have to
more
get more
into
for
it.
Kawhi. So
Absolutely.
you'd want Boston to include a draft pick.
There is no doubt about it. I mean, if you look at Kyrie, how long is he going to be able to play? 4 knee injuries. We know point guards play less. We know that their overall durability is less than bigger players. Like, I believe that that's real. Now, you have the same situation. Can Boston sign Kawhi and can Boston sign Kyrie? Those are both the same issues. But I just believe where Kawhi is right now, Boston would have to throw in something else if I'm San Antonio to be able to let Kawhi go to the Celtics.
And that makes sense just because Kawhi is somewhere from the 3rd best player in the world to the 7th best player in the world when healthy. And Kyrie's probably somewhere from like the 9th to the 14th. So if you're getting the slightly better player, you are going to have to give up a little bit more. This, though, to me is the most fascinating of all the potential trades. Because the one part we have to recognize with the Spurs is one thing Greg Popovich has never had to do in his time with the Spurs is rebuild. They had the one terrible year because David Robinson was hurt, but since Greg Popovich has been the head coach there, they have had a Hall of Famer in his prime every single year. Think about that. Been there 20-plus years. David Robinson to Duncan to Kawhi. A Hall of Famer in his prime every year. Pop's only got 2 years left by his own admission. Going to go through 2020. He wants to spend the last 2 years rebuilding.
You don't get that with L.A.
Right, with L.A., you're going to get that. You're going to get.
Right,
you don't get the superstar. Exactly right. You trade for Kyrie. Now, why else does it match up? We know San Antonio believes Kawhi's leaving after a year if you keep him. The Celtics might be a little concerned Kyrie's leaving. Now, flip side, maybe Boston thinks, yeah, Kawhi wants to go to L.A., but if we win a title, he'll stay. And maybe the Spurs think, yeah, Kyrie maybe wants to go to New York, but we were on his list initially. He gets into Spurs culture, everything runs through him, maybe he'll stay. This is a really fascinating potential trade.
One thing I'm worried about the Spurs culture, they made a very, very dynamic move on their bench. They moved Becky Hammon to be the #1 assistant. Now, I'm going to tell you, if they want to do her, because I believe she potentially can be the first female in pro basketball as a head coach.
She could be Pop's heir apparent.
They need to get the talent for her before Pop leaves. They shouldn't leave it on R.C. Buford and Becky Hammon. The first time she's taken over an NBA job, for her to have to grow out and to recruit to replenish this franchise. No, they need to get them a couple stars in the next couple years. If that is their business plan, if that is their strategy, if they think that they're going to be cutting edge, which they always have been, then give her a fighting chance. Go out and try to get someone like Kyrie. Don't get all them draft picks. Man, all them draft picks aren't guaranteed anything. Get you some established stars that you can continue the tradition of winning 50 games the way they had done every year over the last 20 until this year. So I believe, just watch that, because I believe that's important. Pop does not want to lose his last 2 years, and if Pop is any type of mentor that I believe him to be, he is trying to leave her at least a fighting chance in the NBA when she takes over that job in 2 years, because it was monumental, them moving her from that back seat, moving her to that front seat where she is the #1 assistant for Pop now.
And if you're Boston, I think that's a great point on the Spurs side of it. But on the other side of it, from the Boston side of it, man, that is a wildly talented team. If you're talking about winning a championship, what's the one piece right now Boston doesn't have if they run it back next year as is? Man, who really on our roster can check Kevin Durant? Now, nobody can shut down Kevin Durant, but who really? Guess who's the player best equipped in the entire NBA to guard LeBron James and Kevin Durant? That guy right there. That guy right there. So you bring him in. You have him, Jason Tatum, and Gordon Hayward. Al Horford as the glue guy. I understand you don't have a lot of guards. I get that part of it. But Jaylen Brown can play the 2, and we saw Terry Rozier can be competent. Boston becomes, flipping Kyrie for Kawhi, to me, takes them up a tick. And up a tick is to right there, not quite with the Warriors, but right there with them.
LeBron reached out to KD about possibly playing next year with the Lakers.
Well, since you're starting the show with me, I will do my very best Cris Carter impersonation and say, I wasn't surprised at all. And here's why. I had So 2 days ago, I assume around the same time Stephen A. was doing real reporting, I had heard something similar, but it was like fourth hand, and I didn't feel comfortable saying what Stephen A. did. Stephen A., by the way...
Jenna, at some point, we're at a disadvantage, too. With the news surrounding LeBron, my partner here, it's not as if he's new at this, but he's trying to be very, very careful.
I want to be very careful. And so I want to...
Multiple sources.
This is the type of thing that everyone's chasing. And I'm not a reporter, but I try to do a little reporting when necessary.
You're a reporter.
No, you got good intel.
Yeah.
But I want to be very buttoned up on this. And so yesterday what I did on TV was we were asked, who's the best person to team up with LeBron, thinking the questions about Kawhi or Paul George.
And you hinted.
And I said Kevin Durant. Because I knew that this was something LeBron was at least doing his due diligence on. And I know that Cleveland.com has refuted Stephen A.'s report. I know Stephen A.'s a competitor, but Stephen A. doesn't get a lot of stuff wrong. He's incredibly well-sourced, and he's hearing what I'm hearing, which is LeBron was checking with everybody. Mm-hmm. And I think it would be almost irresponsible not to. Kevin Durant's not under contract. Like he's going to be a free agent. He's going to opt out and be a free agent. Now he'll probably still.
Now you were a little disturbed about the fact after the finals people talked about LeBron joining Golden State.
It's a different story. That is a totally different
story.
Than
if KD and LeBron played in
Los Angeles or theoretically wherever. But LA is the team that could fit 2 max salaries. And if you're for LeBron, that's 2 birds, 1 stone. That's the best player you could team up with, and it kneecaps to a degree the team that is the defending champion. So am I surprised by this? No, I don't think it's going to happen. I do not think Kevin Durant's going to leave. And if Kevin Durant is to leave, I don't think Kevin Durant wants to team up with LeBron. I think Durant wants to become LeBron. But I think it would be foolish for LeBron not to at least ask and find out, wait, are you going to leave? If so, do you have any interest in coming to LA?
And you make a couple very good points. KD right now's goal should be to outdo LeBron. For these conversations, for us to start a show and say, is KD the #1 player in the world? Because right now, we can't say that. He has the championships. He has the MVPs, regular season and postseason. The only thing he doesn't have is the title as the world's best basketball player. And he doesn't have the title of, at what point in his career was he the best player in the NBA. And I believe that's what Kevin Durant is seeking now. He has 2. If he wins 1 more at Golden State, that would give him 3. LeBron has 3. So it's very important, for him to get that next one to be able to tie LeBron based on some of the things I've heard about KD, what he's communicated to other people.
Would this be the best move for both of them? I mean, if LeBron is reaching out, he thinks this might be the best move for him. But would it be also the best move for Kevin Durant?
It would. I mean, I think Kevin Durant's in a perfect situation where he is right now. He's already dealt with the backlash of the move. Now, there's still some ripple effects, but it wouldn't be all new backlash like he would get for teaming up with LeBron in Los Angeles. They are the heavy favorites going into next season as the league is presently constituted, and almost assuredly will be after free agency unless a lot of pieces fall for the Lakers. Or would it be the best move for LeBron? Well, sure. I mean, he would get to play in LA. He would get to play with I think Kevin Durant at this point in his career would be the best player LeBron's ever played with, no disrespect to Dwayne Wade. But Dwayne Wade wasn't the second best player in the world when LeBron joined with him. And so for all those reasons, yes, I think for LeBron it would be the best situation.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.